not sure because I heard hips being talked about before. But how do you go about weight transfer?
Weight transfer? Like,
Yeah, like getting your legs into the throw.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of it comes with the timing of your run-up, or if you're doing from standstill, if it's a new player. That's, I think, the best way to practice the weight transfer is from a standstill.
Yeah.
Because you can really, really work on how to push off your back leg. Which is what comes from the X step is getting more momentum to push off that back leg and into your front swing.
I think giving yourself, so like I agree that starting to stand still, working to a 1-step and then, you know, and then a 2-step and a 3-step, yada yada, but then also making sure that you're running up in slow enough that you can actually load your lower body. You're not so focused on the speed of your run up as in, you know, getting let down and loading those muscles on like a slow backswing. I think that's
Yeah.
I call it a walk up.
Slower the better.
Yeah.
Slower the better. And
Slow weight transfer when you follow through too. Because
or if you don't at all, right?
Yeah, if you don't if your weight is still back, then your back foot, left or right, is gonna be back, and then you're hurting your hips. You're hurting, which I sort of do a lot.
Yeah, you always find that your pictures at the end, or if you're like take video and you find that you don't ever step through the shot, it's probably you're not transferring enough weight.
okay, yeah.
You should naturally have a follow through. Your body should have
It's
to.
it's a good balance, just to have balance. That's what I was gonna say. As far as going slow, but weight transfer has a lot to do with balance. Like I'm balanced here, but I'm balanced. All my weight's back here now. So just getting used to your body like this, and simply like this. Like all the weight's on my back right now. Nothing's right here. Same with here. So like these kind of exercise, like my weight is completely transferring here to here, and just getting comfortable with that is kind of a gateway, I think. Because you're doing that eventually.
Yeah.
So getting used to this, really simple rate. Like my weight's here. Now I'm here. Now I'm center. Now I'm here. So just just feeling the weight shift.
A lot of it,
I do that on
Sarah was
cutting
saying,
a lot.
is in your legs. So you want to
here.
make sure you're using your whole body.
Yeah, and that
A lot of
leads
it's
to,
in your
I
legs.
guess, a second question. So when you're planting, like granted, if you're doing standstill, it's fine, but getting into that motion, is your foot flat? Is it open? Is it like at an angle? Or does it depend on the
Avery
shot?
Jenkins mentions when you have really good form and your weight is transferring, it's your weight's back and you're pulling through, and it's when you do the toe thing.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
unconscious
toe
kind of
thing.
heel.
But like
or
you
toe.
don't want to force that, because then it's like you're forcing yourself to do the toe thing. You're forgetting about everything else in your body. But when I know when my weight is transferring and when I'm following through, when I'm coming through and my toe is going and then I'm coming forward.
You're gonna see
But
more of your hip
that's
motion in your foot, right? So like your hips, the foot is opening your hips or not, right? Your weight transfer is more in your momentum forward that causes the follow through, right? So they're kind of two different things, right? I mean, you don't want to a lot of people say when you're on that back part of your backswing, on that final step, that your heel should be back, right? And that so that your hips aren't open too quick, right? So that's kind of what the foot is for, is the hip movement, and then you can diagnose your weight transfer by how your follow through is.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
Right? If you end up like this, right? Guess where the disc goes, right? But if you have enough momentum and muscle load that you end up here, then the disc goes.
Yeah, and to go on that, I think that's a balance thing too, because if you're off balance, you're kind of like this. I'm not balanced. So I see the trouble is I'm trying to throw really far, so I'm gonna take these huge steps, and I'm off balance. So if I take smaller steps, there's a lot more control, and I still have the power. So small, slow. But I'm transferring, but smaller than I even think I want to. You can play with it, but smaller, and that's like power and transfer. So instead of you're losing a lot here.
And you'll see that she's really exploding there through the hit zone, and that's another concept. You want to accelerate into your run-up rather than, you don't want it to just be slow the whole time. So you do want to add speed, but not until the last two steps. The first two are kind of setting your body, and the last two are when you're really pulling with maybe more acceleration. So like a cadence. So instead of my run-up being my feet are hitting the ground, I want to be right? instead of,
Yeah.
right? So accelerate those last two. But at the same time, you gotta load those muscles. I mean, it's so many different parts.
Yeah.
You know, when you're working on your form, pick a couple of different parts that you're working on and just focus on one tiny part of that skill for, 10 or 15 shots, and then move on to another individual part of that skill, and don't try to think about more than one thing at a time when you're trying to change something about your shot.
And take video of yourself or have a friend do it. You can learn a lot about what your body's actually doing by seeing it from afar. You can find out you're over your toe and you didn't even realize it, so you can bring your body back further, or maybe your arm's in a different place than you thought, or maybe you're pulling back up here and didn't even realize it. Like, there's so many things happening in a throw, you don't know how to keep track of all of it, so you can learn a lot from that.
Video's your biggest thing. Get up empowered over there.
Do that. That helps connect it all. To slow down.
Yes.
Focus.
No, I mean just slowing down in general.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And anytime you're having any problems with any skill, slow it down, simplify it.